I'm a pretty busy guy, so I always get my daily quota of gaming news by reaching for a fresh can of refreshing game like 9 out of 10 doctors don't understand how news can be liquid, yet they recommend it anyway, which is a little frightening. Sony is likely to launch the PS5 Pro this year, according to top industry analysts. Serkan Toto, the CEO of Japanese games consultancy firm Kantan Games, told CNBC that there seems to be a broad consensus in the games industry that Sony is indeed preparing to launch a PS5 Pro in the second half of 2024. Apparently, the move would help bolster falling console sales and capitalize on the upcoming release of GTA 6 by offering gamers a more powerful machine to run the highly anticipated title. Unfortunately, things aren't looking as hot in the Mushroom Kingdom. Reports indicate the Nintendo Switch 2's launch date has been pushed from late 2024 to early 2025. This has been reported by Brazilian journalist and person whose name I'm not cultured enough to pronounce properly, Pedro Henrique Latifi, who apparently received the information from 5 separate sources. Eurogamer then checked with their own sources, who corroborated the news. As a result, Nintendo's share values have taken a bit of a tumble. Even worse, there is, as of yet, no word on how this will affect the amiibo market. Helldivers 2 has exploded in popularity after launching on the PS5 and PC, but for those thinking of enlisting, consider this. The CEO of the game's developer, Arrowhead Studios, advised not buying the game if you can't afford it, at least until they fix the server issues. Arrowhead CEO, Helldivers 2 director, and the second person to get their name butchered in this episode, Johan Pilstead, gave his hot take in a reply to the prospective buyer who has no money. Pilstead said he would be heartbroken if the monetarily challenged tweeter spent their last dollar to get stuck in server queues. The CEO also elaborated on the server issues, saying that in another reply tweet, the problem isn't the number of servers, but that the backend code just isn't optimized. Certainly not helping matters are reports that some players are leaving themselves logged in overnight to avoid queue times and clogging up the servers with inactive players in the process. Despite the title's now infamous server issues, a petition to port the game to Xbox platforms has blown up online, and even PlayStation players are in favor of the idea. Phil Spencer, Xbox's head of leather jackets, even chimed in saying, "I'm not sure who it helps by keeping the game a PS5 console exclusive, although he does get it." After all, Philly cheesesteak is no stranger to pushing for console exclusives, but maybe he can trade the 4 unnamed Xbox titles that are going multi-platform for Helldivers 2. Give a little taste of the bug-killing co-op goodness to the fans of letter-shaped themed consoles. It's a reference to Xbox. Lol, haha, okay.
You don't have to read that.
Tekken 8 is apparently adding microtransactions after launching last month. In a live post-release roadmap video, developers revealed that they would be adding a Tekken shop to the game, an announcement so controversial and so divisive that no one even talked about the announcement of a Chipotle partnership that apparently would include a custom menu item in the Chipotle app built for and by the Tekken community. Don't just choose your fighter. Choose the amount of time you'll spend in the bathroom.
A burrito so powerful it feels like your father threw you into a volcano.
Regarding the Tekken shop, franchise fans are divided. On one hand, it will give players access to legacy outfits from earlier Tekken titles, but on the other hand, the gold coins earned through playing the game, which can be used for buying costumes, can't be used for these costumes. Instead, Tekken shop cosmetics will cost $4 a piece. But no matter which side of the argument Tekken players are on, all fans know one thing. There will be bikinis. I don't know what Tekken is. Is that a big selling point?
It is a very weird game, and all of the men have very skimpy outfits.
Okay, I'm interested now.
Especially the old men.
And now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by XSplit. Take your live streaming to the next level with XSplit's cutting-edge broadcasting and video production tools. We know sleeping streams are a thing, and that's weird, but your audience shouldn't be falling asleep too, because that's even weirder. Keep your viewers awake with image and video looping, multiple audio tracks, and slick transitions. Wake up and smell the deals by visiting XSplit at lmg.gg/XSplit and use code Linus for an eye-opening 69% off your first purchase or subscription. I like that there's 5 quick bits today, because that's the number of hours that Riley spent on the toilet. He has food poisoning. Ubisoft's long-awaited quadruple A live service game Skull and Bones has been out for a full weekend, and early reviews are already a black spot. The game has a user score of 3.1 on Metacritic, making it the lowest rated game so far this year, with fans expressing disappointment to have waited 11 years for what is essentially a downgraded version of Assassin's Creed's Black Flag. Professional reviewers were significantly gentler, praising Skull and Bones' naval combat and visuals while criticizing its unpolished mechanics and weak narrative. The game has a current Metacritic score of 61%, only 9 points below a pirate's favorite letter grade, the C. Zaum, the studio behind critically acclaimed CRPG Disco Elysium, has cancelled the game's expansion and sequel, which you'd think would disappoint fans. But after years of controversy over the ousting of the game's original creators, if Zoom announced a new project from the maker of Disco Elysium, I think it would be justified to shout "liar" at your screen. The company also reported laying off 24 staff, including the last remaining employee who worked on the original game, Argo Tuluk, which is absolutely not Disco in the slightest.
I'm not coming back until they're sorry, cop.
It has been announced that the long-dead MOBA hero shooter Gigantic is being resurrected, presumably due to some form of dark magic or perhaps a lack of fresh game ideas. The game was previously revived for a weekend last year, and it seemed to have gone well enough for Gearbox to pull out the Necronomicon? Bizarrely, the new version is ditching the original's microtransactions and instead being released as a $20 premium title with all of the content unlocked. Can someone please do a double check of what year it is? The PlayStation Portal is finally living up to its initials after Google engineers got it to run emulated PSP games. The Googlers hacked the handheld to get the PPSSPP emulator running natively without any Wi-Fi streaming required, something that not even Sony could accomplish apparently. The engineers claim that games like Minecraft and Tekken 6 work 100%, however the team won't release their project yet since it is still requiring a bit of work, and that is the first time someone has said that in regards to the PlayStation Portal. And Sega claims that their upcoming Crazy Taxi revival will be a AAA game.
Only one A less than Ubisoft's Skull and Bones.
What that apparently means in practice is the game company will not just be releasing a remake, but a reboot that is a live service, 100-person survival game inspired by GTA Online and Fortnite. That is according to reliable leaker Midordi, who also says the revival of Jet Set Radio, a game known for inline skating and tricks and graffiti, will also feature a live service title that includes shooting elements. We haven't seen guns and 90s action sports combined like this since the much maligned Tony Hawk's Pro Shooter. But you should be a sport and come back on Thursday for more gaming news. If you'll excuse me now, I have to do a couple rips around the Nürburgring. The simulator's right over there.